growing in the Holy Spirit. A sister asked me to pray for a girl whose situation she is aware of, and I said, Holy Spirit, show me this girl. And I just saw her all black. And so I said, hey, could you tell me what ethnicity this girl is? I had a picture. And she said, well, she's white. And I was like, okay. I saw black, and I didn't know if that meant her ethnicity was black, or if it's just the stain of this sin and this darkness that's been done to her. And she goes, actually, she only wears black. She wears all black. She's very goth. And I was like, okay. So I'm learning the nuances of the pictures that the Holy Spirit shows me. Not that it's always necessary, because if I just receive that picture, I'm like, Holy Spirit, show me, and I receive the black, and I start praying in the Spirit does it. Spirit does it. And it's just fun to know. So I'm praying for this girl and just like seeing all these beautiful things that Jesus is doing. Inexpressibly beautiful. He's such a healer. He makes it fun. The darkest, heaviest things you've ever been through, he makes fun to heal. I've been doing the heavy thing for so long. Thinking that it was a burden I had to bear to get back to him. And that's the leftover New Age bleh that was in my mind. How? It's weighty, but you feel him holding the weight with you at the same time. It's so different than just carving your way through in secular therapy, because that's so hard, and they call it the work and tell you have to do it, but when does it end? When does it end? And Jesus brings you into this place of perfect peace and radical joy and strength that comes like laughter despite your circumstances and moves you from that place. We've gone back through memories and reprocessed memories, a lot of them, in a day, in a span of a few minutes in the Spirit, that unraveled years of pain with one touch from him. This girl's been through so much, and I saw Jesus wrapping her up, and I'm not gonna speak at all because it felt really holy and just protected. And there's one image I do feel free to share, is he put a golden stone in her hand. And I was like, oh, fun, Lord, what's that? It's a golden rock. We like golden rocks. And she turned and faced her past, and she threw the rock. And it hit this demon square in the forehead and knocked it down the way David did Goliath. And I saw her victory in him because Jesus wins. She wins because Jesus wins. He makes it so easy. I'm deconditioning years, so many years of stuff. To just sit with him. And there were so many years I was like, Lord, I am willing. Just teach me how. And he has. So if you hear people say things like surrender or give it to God or sit in his presence, and you have no idea what that feels like, what that looks like, you can ask him. And yeah, it took several years. I'm not gonna pretend that it didn't. However, I don't think it needed to. I think I had just taken the bait a little too far and internalized it. And I held on to my conditions because it made me feel safe to do so, despite the only true safety being in his arms. But he knew exactly the path that would open up my heart and teach me to let go into him. And so that is what we walked together for years. That was his patience. That was his faithfulness. And so when you receive a word that stirs you in some deep place, but you feel like you just can't change it, you don't even have to be the one that makes the change. It's the mustard seed thing. If you can say yes in one tiny way, he really does do the rest. You just keep moving. He corrected me. I'm learning to be still and know that he is God. It doesn't change the journey I'm on, except that it does. Because it's with him, and it's finished with him and in him. And then he can move through me. The healing and the memory recon and whatever needs to be moved through me comes first by my presence with him, not by me going to therapy and journaling and doing the inner child work and doing the meditation and the breathing exercise and the tips, skills from DBT of holding ice on your face. No, none of it brought any freedom ever. Relief in a very, very temporary way, but never freedom. God be with you today. Goodbye.